Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. So today is a pretty interesting topic. We actually have a black man who explains why he is divested, but he doesn't say that he's completely finished with black women. He said that there's still hope because he has met some that fit the criteria of women that he likes to date. Here are some of the valid reasons why he doesn't choose to date black women.
I've always hear from other black guys or black women, okay, why are you out with a white woman and why don't you date a black girl? Okay, from my experience, a lot of black women would not really be that into me. All right, start hearing, okay, he's weird, okay, and I start seeing this as a common occurrence. You know, we would do this a lot, all right, so I was still going with my boy and doing it. And I remember this vivid experience. This woman, like, she was crossing the street. I remember my boy was like, yo, let's get him right now. You know, I think it was still early, like midnight or whatever. I go with him, right? And we doing our approaches, and I get one girl, he gets the other girl on the side. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing? Or whatever it is. I forgot what I said, but all I remember is her just coming at me with like full aggression. Boy, get away from me. You wearing Converses. Fuck out of here. Or something like that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, she's like, and I was like, damn, like, why so aggressive? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, to me, that was extremely unattractive. Like,
well, to be honest with you, I think it's pretty understandable. Like, if people find you to be different than the average black guy that they're used to dating and they call you weird, that would definitely be a turnoff. I mean, that was extremely rude what the young lady said to him. I mean, I would be completely embarrassed, and that would make me apprehensive to talk to black women after that as well. At the same time, I don't think that you should judge everybody off of one encounter, but let's just keep listening.
like I said, I grew up in a suburban school, but then I moved to the inner city school district. The majority of the women, all right, the culture there was black women. I noticed typical like values these women value, okay? They liked it. A specific kind of guy, okay, in the streets, gang banging, chains, jewelry. They would go to like these house parties. They would drink liquor. You know, I feel like women of all races drink at a young age and whatever else. But my mindset at the time was education, all right, fitness. I was playing sports. And I feel like there are women, black women like that, which I'll get to later, all right? But the moment I started going out and start picking up women, getting into this, there wouldn't be any black women to choose from. The venues that I would go to, like the nightclubs, the bars, would have very little population of black women, okay? The clubs, I'm sorry, because I wouldn't just go to any sort of venue, right? It would have to be safe, all right? Because a lot of, and this is what my friend would say, I want to go to this, like, platform or whatever it is, like, and these would have a lot of black women, and I definitely went a couple times with them because I was very open-minded. They would literally shootouts, brawls, fights, all right, and these girls, they would be like, oh my god, they would stand around and watch, and you know, they would put on Facebook and this and that, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I am not about to get caught up in that shit. I'm gonna go to like a nicer venue, right, where I'm more likely to be not in a shootout or whatever. So I would go to these venues. They would not be there. The gyms that I would go to, they would not be there. I value going to the gym. 90 to 95% of these women in the gym were white and other races.
So there's some more reasons here. He said that just because of the neighborhood he grew up in was pretty suburban, but then even when he moved, based on the school that he went to, the places that he frequented, he just didn't find the type of woman that he fancied. And a lot of the black women that he did end up coming into contact with, they didn't have the characteristics that he liked. Things that he liked are fitness and people who care about their skin and their hair, not just covering their skin and hair with makeup or wigs. So no offense to anybody who may do that, and I've definitely heard a lot of other black men say the same thing. So if black women care and they still want to date black men, then maybe you should start trying to do some of the things that they actually like and try to value things like education and fitness rather than clothing and cars and things that will fade over time. It makes sense. If you are going to places where the type of women that look like you don't go, and you're only around a certain type of female, it makes sense that that's all you're going to date. He said that he had to avoid going to black places and events just because of the violence that he would witness. He would see shootouts and things of that nature. And I've heard of that kind of stuff. Now, granted, I've never actually went to a club that was shot at or anything, but I've definitely seen it on the news. And growing up in the 313, I mean, I'm from Detroit, so you know it's a heavily violent city and notorious for a lot of gang things and shootouts, murders, unsolved, and all this stuff. So I definitely can't say that he's wrong for this. Like, I'm not offended by any of this at all. If he finds other women of other races more attractive because of the interests they have and the places that they go, the values that they have, it just makes sense, and nobody can get mad.
And number 3, the colleges. All right, I went to college, all right, and studied. Very, very little women in college, at least the demographic that I was in, the school that I was in. All right, I went to a private school, and then I went to a community college at first. But these women, they just wouldn't be around that much. All right, majority were white women. The majority of my late count, the women I dated, 90 to 95% of these women were white. 5 to 7% were Latina, Asian, or other Pacific Islanders, whatever. And then 1 or 2% was black. I mentioned about the gym. Okay, I very actually I value skincare. I value fitness. All right, so low body fat. And these black women at the time, along with black men, all right, they were really into like thick girls, right? And their thick was like fat. To me, it was fat. And I was like, oh, this is thick. She's thick. And now I guess these women at the time, or at least even now, they think this is thick. All right. And to me, I don't think that's thick. I think that's fat. So you got to have the right proportions. And the only way you do that, most likely, is to head to the gym, right? Take care of your health. And like I said, a lot of this still ties into demographic. Number 2, I like women with education. Like I said, I wouldn't just be around them, but also when I'm sitting down talking, I like to talk about education. I like to talk about knowledge, right? And from my experience, most of these women would just be into sneakers, which is cool. I like sneakers too, but their lifestyle, okay? They wouldn't sort of pursue a higher education. They're more into like hair, nails, and going to these house parties that are very fucking dangerous. The bottle of Remy's and this and that, and then just this whole intertwined culture. Like I said, I'm not about to fucking crash out. I have a smarter, brighter future. This is the directions I'm heading in, and we would not line up. We would not sort of be on the same page with that. Okay, I'm sure if I threw on some chains, I got into gangs, I got into all this kind of shit, I would be into black women like that.
If he had gotten on here and said that he just didn't want to date black women because of their dark skin, or because he didn't want his kids to come out with nappy hair or something crazy like that, now those would be messed up reasons, and I would go in on him right now. But all of the reasons that he's giving for divesting and dating women outside of race are kind of valid. I mean, he felt like the black women he was around didn't value higher education. They were extremely superficial. A lot of the black people that he was around, they uplifted obesity and thickness and things like that instead of fitness. And that's something that he personally doesn't like. He likes a slim, lean woman. Why not go after what it is that you're physically attracted to? Now, maybe he can meet a black woman who is slim and fit and cares about her skin and hair and nails and things in a positive way that doesn't necessarily come off extremely ghetto or flashy. Maybe he can find somebody like that. But until then, he's probably just going to continue to date white women or other women, different races, just because they have those characteristics. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There was absolutely nothing wrong with this video. He just was explaining how the black women he was around, they weren't attracted to him because he wasn't probably thuggy enough for them. And the black women that he did come around, they just didn't have the same interests that he had. And so maybe he found them to be boring, and maybe they found him to be boring. I think you should like what you like in this life, and you should go after who makes you happy. And as long as you are happy and the person you're with is happy, who cares what color you are? Who cares what background you come from? Who cares what skin tone you are or your hair texture? All of that stuff is so superficial and weird, and it's not important. It's definitely not important to talk about. But I definitely have another video coming up very soon. It's going to be with a black woman who explains why she personally doesn't date black men. And her reasons are not like this one. So if you want to see, definitely check it out. Don't forget to leave me a comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the flip side.